Hello and welcome to Unboxing Your Wonders 2023 Samples. And I want to welcome my kindergarten friends as we take a look at the kindergarten sample box. My name is Brandon Harvey and I'll be your guide through this video. Once you've pulled your sample out of the shipping box, it looks like this, and it's got a little flap that you can just lift up, slides right down the back. Has a nice little header there so we know it's our kindergarten samples. And there might be some shipping materials and paper packed in there. You can pull that out. It just helps the material stay nice and neat during shipping. Everything in your Wonder sample box is organized into two sides. You have your teacher resources and materials on one side, and you have your student-facing resources and materials on the other side. The other thing that I want to draw your attention to is right on the front of the box. It says Explore the Box. And what you'll see are pictured some of the key resources for both you and your students with a nice, quick, easy summary that details what that tool is all about. Now, not only do we want you to evaluate the print samples of Wonders, but we also want you to make sure you take a look at the digital samples. And so down here at the bottom of your box, you will see a URL as well as even a QR code that you can scan. It takes you right to the site where you can request a demo, a trial sample, but also to evaluate even some additional digital samples that are on there. So definitely want to take a look at that because everything in Wonders is not only in print, but also digital. Now, we're going to start with the teacher side, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out my Wonders Teacher Edition for kindergarten. Now, this is units 5 and 6. Everything in the box is actually all centered around Unit 6, Week 3. So you have assessments, you'll have the big books, you'll even see some cards and manipulatives that all support that particular week of instruction. However, remember, if you want to see some additional units from your teachers and guides or maybe additional big books, remember you can request that demo account. Now, if I turn my teacher edition sideways, you'll see that there are 2 units per volume. So this is units 5 and unit 6, and there are 10 units in kindergarten, and each unit is 3 weeks long. Before you open this up, again, if you just want some background information, right here in the front, there's some great information that you could read that really details the instructional design and really gives you sort of a high-level information about what you will discover and find not only within the Wonders curriculum, but also features within your teacher's edition. Now, you can take a look at any particular unit, right, for units 5 and 6, and you will see everything in this teacher's edition for whole group and small group instruction, all grounded in the science of reading. I also want to let you know that in the very back behind Unit 6, you will see an extended writing opportunity. There are one of those every 6 weeks or at the end of each of your even numbered units. Also in the back there after Unit 6 is sort of a spiral review, connect, assess opportunity. So you'll want to take a look at that. And in the back of every volume of your teacher's edition is your kindergarten scope and sequence as well. Now, I'm going to grab another chunk of materials here from the teacher side, and this is probably my favorite thing in the whole box. It is your instructional routine handbook. This is a must read. This really takes that research base that is the science of reading and puts it into classroom practices, into those instructional routines. This is a K-5 book, but you will see very detailed routines for phonemic awareness, phonics, high-frequency words, along with writing, citing text evidence. And not only does it have those routines, but it has teacher tips, corrective feedback, a lot of good information in this book. So definitely want to take a look at this. Here is my genre read aloud anthology for kindergarten. This is a flexible tool, just giving you more read aloud that you can use flexibly at any time. However, remember that special spiral review week that's in the back after Unit 6. You will see it referenced there as well. Now, I mentioned my teacher edition has everything for whole group and small group. One of those small groups that you might be pulling are for English language learners, and Wonders now provides a unique EL small group guide. This takes all of the core texts that are in that instruction and gives specific EL lesson plans written at 3 different stages of language acquisition. So yes, there is integrated EL scaffolds throughout whole group. This gives you even more targeted support for small group. And the fact that it lives here in my small group guide, it's flexible for push in or pull out. Another group that you might have in your district or in your classroom are newcomers. And so this is your K2, it's a grade level band, newcomer teacher guide. To go with the lesson plans that are in this, there are lesson cards, as well as for your students, online visuals and newcomer games and activities. All right, let's take a look at a few more resources here on that teacher side. Here is my assessment sampler. It is just a sample, and you have samples of your unit level assessments as well as your benchmark assessments for units 5 and 6. However, if you do want to see the full range of assessments for the year, I would again encourage you to log on and get that digital trial. You will also find that Wonders has efficacy and success. And so this efficacy and success brochure really details district testimonials. You will see case studies as well as third-party evaluation. So if that's important to you, definitely want to take a look at that. I love this. This is my program overview. This might be a good place to start because it gives you that high-level overview of the entire curriculum. And we just talked about our EL learners. Well, this is, again, a good summary of all of the supports that we provide in print and online to support your English language learners. And then you will see this, teachers. You don't want to miss this. Your kindergarten classroom resources. We know that teaching kindergarten, there are a lot of hands-on manipulatives involved. And so what this does, it gives you now in a reduced size some examples of the center activity cards. Blue is for reading, green is for writing, and red is for phonics word study. What I love is that the front of each of my center activity card is an anchor chart that I could project or use for either whole group or small group instruction. And remember that these cards go with Unit 6, Week 3. And then you'll even see examples, again, reduced size of our sound spelling cards, both the front and the back of the cards that have additional routines and instruction on the back, a sample of our photo cards, as well as our visual vocabulary cards. And again, front is the visual, back is that routine-based instruction with a lot of collaboration and talk. Examples of our high-frequency word cards and our interactive read-aloud cards. Visual on the front, that read-aloud on the back, with details for that oral vocabulary, a oral vocabulary routine. And then, of course, a listing of all of the resources and hands-on tools that I can use for whole group and small group instruction. And don't forget, all of these resources also digitally online. Okay, one more thing over here on my teacher side, which is a sample of my literature big book. These are your anchor texts at kindergarten. This is one of 32 authentic literature trade books in big book format. However, it is a reduced size. And not only do I have my anchor or my main selection here, which is Waiting Out the Storm, in the back of every big book is a paired selection that would come in on day 4. So as you're taking a look at that Unit 6, Week 3, look at day 4, and it will pull in this paired selection. All right, so I'm going to put all of my teacher resources, those big books, assessment samplers, informational brochures, newcomer teacher guide, this amazing EL small group guide, my genre read aloud, and remember, my must go-to guide, that instructional routine handbook back there on the side, and of course, my all-in-one teacher edition as well. All right, now let's explore the student side of resources. And the main key student resource is known as a reading writing companion. This is an interactive, consumable student book that students use throughout the whole week of instruction. And it really, again, are unitized. So this is the one for Unit 6. So if you want to go to Unit 6, Week 3, again, remember everything's in that week, but you have the full unit here as an example. If you want to see the other units of the student companion, you'll want to request that digital access. Now, this has everything to begin our week as we, again, root our instruction in listening and speaking, anchoring around an essential question, and we develop background knowledge and oral vocabulary as students draw and write pictures, setting goals for the week for students to take agency over their learning, and as we respond to the initial read of the big book, as well as rereading our big book through both pictures and words to cite that evidence. And we know it's really important that our kindergartners are just developing as writers. And so you will see very targeted, explicit writing lessons. Just what does it mean to write a good, high quality sentence? And of course, as they reread the big book, citing of text evidence, both maybe with pictures, but also words. And so it's a very multimodal learning curriculum because we're going to listen, we're going to talk, we're going to collaborate, we're going to draw. So really pulling in all those different modes. You'll also see right here decodable readers. That's a shared reading experience, but really an opportunity for students to apply or transfer those sound spellings and those high frequency words to text. They read with a pencil. They are circling, underlining, drawing a box, even making margin notes, practicing those writing skills, writing those high frequency words, or writing words with those sound spellings right here in their companion. Also, opportunities to respond to the text. How do we write in response to what we read about? So there is very specific learning opportunities here that where we start again with a student model first before expecting students to do it on their own. But again, very multimodal. We're going to talk, we're going to draw before we write. And as we come to that day 4, remember the paired selection in my big book. Here's activities to respond to the paired read, research and inquiry activities as a way to really integrate my knowledge, even making connections, opportunities to make connections to what I'm learning about, to science, to social studies, to fine arts, even culminating tasks known as show your knowledge tasks. And don't forget, this is Unit 6. So on the even numbered units, I'm going to have these special red pages in the back for that spiral review, right? Connections to science, to social studies, using that genre read aloud anthology selections here as we review what we've learned. So lots of really tremendous things here. And don't forget, also completely digital with full audio support, and I can do all of those annotations digitally. You'll also see here a practice book, Blackline Master. Now this is one for the teacher. On the front, you'll see the detailed list of the variety of practice that we provide that includes phonemic awareness, phonics, high frequency words, but also grammar, handwriting, even take-home stories. So you can actually pull and look at the practice that again centers around Unit 6, Week 3. Not only do I have this in print, if I want my students doing some collaborative or independent practice pencil paper, remember it's fully digital. And I can assign this practice page or pages to my students. They can do the work digitally and submit it to me. No paper involved. The next thing I see here is this clear plastic sleeve. I'm going to pull out all of the information here. And this is about our leveled reading resources. And so you have a nice brochure here right in the front that'll give you a good overview of the approach to leveled or differentiated text that Wonders has in its curriculum. You'll even see some samples of the kindergarten leveled readers, a variety of books here. And of course, you'll see the 4 texts that are used for Unit 6, Week 4. Now, they are color-coded as well as differentiated levels on the back. The orange is approaching level. Then you have blue, which is on level. The purple is an English language learner. And do you notice that it is the exact same as the on-level text? And then, of course, green is your beyond level reader. And on the back, if I kind of fan these out, you will see Fontys Pinnell guided reading levels, DRA benchmark levels, and Lexile levels on the back of each one. You can even open up the inside back cover and find additional literacy activities to support the reading that's going on. Now, I do have lesson plans for my leveled readers in my teacher edition, but we also offer a second lesson from our leveled reader lesson cards. Now, this might be in a shrink wrap when you first open it up, so feel free to open up that shrink wrap. And what you will see, these grab and go leveled reader lesson cards are really centered around what we call ACT, Access Complex Text. We're talking about the qualitative nature of the text. What makes this text complex? And so you'll see that guided instruction with sparking those peer conversations, text-dependent questions, and on the back, those additional literacy activities to extend with. So you'll have a leveled reader lesson card for each one of your leveled readers. But to see the full range of level text, again, I encourage you to log on for that experience. Oh, I think we see a couple more things back here. Oh, authentic literature is at the heart of the Wonders curriculum. And so you'll see information about your literature big books and the authentic literature that's built in to the Wonders curriculum, as well as your 22 classroom library trade books, all detailed right here along the top. You can see the 22 titles and authors that are part of the Kindergarten Wonders library. And here's another standalone scope and sequence right here in the back of the box as well. You know it's also in the back of your teacher's edition. So I'm going to put these resources back here in the side of my student example here. So that's just a quick overview of all of the variety of tools that you will see. There's even more to explore, as I've mentioned several times, digitally online. But I hope this really helps you understand the resources, the tools that are in Wonders 2023 for kindergarten. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day.